Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. We are very fortunate today. We have stage Bandhu Madhav Prabhu. He's been practicing bhakti more than 2 decades. And he has done his MTech, Electronics and Communication, and he is working in the software industry as a manager. He's a delivery head, I think so, in the company position. As well as he's taking care of our Kardaspura center also. Particularly, he guides so many devotees, particularly Kardaspura devotees, is pioneer. And if you see now we have ISKCON Panathur. So before ISKCON Panathur, Prabhu was leading this ACS, whole ACS. He was in temple before coming. The center starts in the ISKCON Panathur. He was a circle servant in our temple, and he started journey because of him in ISKCON Panathur ACS level. After that, Arishata Prabhu came, and now we see so many centers. So because of Prabhu is like a room for all of us, and he is serving as a core team in our ISKCON Panathur. So whatever activity we are doing in different centers, they set the standards, so what to do, what not to do. That only we are doing here, the activity. So I welcome Prabhuji. Actually very, very difficult to get Prabhuji's appointment. Is very busy. Somehow we are free to come simply. So I welcome Prabhuji for this wonderful session. I request all of you to chant one time by coming Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'm very happy to be here amongst all of you. Right. Okay, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 21. Yes. Kalim Agatam Ajnaya Kshetre Asmin Vaishnave Vayam Asina Dirga Satrena Katayam Sakshana Hare Kalim Agatam Ajnana Kshetre Asmin Vaishnave Vayam Asina Dirga Satrena Katayam Sakshana Hare Kalim Agatam Ajnana Kshetre Asmin Vaishnave वैष्णवे वयम्
क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम्
आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे कलिमागतमज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे कलिमागतमज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे
कलिमागतम् अज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे कलिमागतम् अज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे
कलिमागतम् अज्ञाय
क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम्
आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण
कथायां सक्षणा हरे
कलिमागतम् अज्ञाय
क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे
माताजी
कलिमागतमज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां
सक्षणा हरे
कलिमागतमज्ञाय
क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे कलिमागतम् अज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे कलिमागतम् अज्ञाय क्षेत्रे अस्मिन् वैष्णवे वयम् आसीन दीर्घसत्रेण कथायां सक्षणा हरे
Kalim, the age of Kali, iron age of quarrel, Agatam, having arrived, Ajnaya, knowing this, Kshetre, in this tract of land, Asmin, in this, Vaishnave, specially meant for the devotees of the Lord, Vayam, we, Asina, seated, Dirgha, prolonged, Satrena, for performance of sacrifices, Katayam, in the words of Sakshana, with time at our disposal.
With time at our disposal.
Hare,
Hare,
of the personality of Godhead.
of the personality of Godhead.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Translation. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of Godhead and in this way perform sacrifice. I'll repeat again. Knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of Godhead and in this way perform sacrifice. Purport. This age of Kali is not at all suitable for self-realization as was Satya Yuga, the golden age, or Treta or Dwapara Yuga, the silver and copper age. For self-realization, the people in Satya Yuga, living a lifetime of 100,000 years, were able to perform prolonged meditation. And in Treta Yuga, when duration of life was 10,000 years, self-realization was attained by performance of great sacrifice. And in Dwapara Yuga, when the duration of life was 1,000 years, self-realization was attained by the worship of the Lord. But in the Kali Yuga, the maximum duration of life being 100 years only, and that combined with various difficulties, the recommended process of self-realization is that of hearing and chanting of the holy name, fame, and pastime of the Lord. The sages of Naimisharanya began this process in a place meant specially for devotees of the Lord. They prepared themselves to hear the pastime of the Lord over a period of 1,000 years. By the example of these sages, one should learn that regular hearing and recitation of Bhagavatam is the only way for self-realization. Other attempts are simply a waste of time, for they do not give any tangible results. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached this system of Bhagavata Dharma and recommended that all those who were born in India should take up responsibility of broadcasting the message of Lord Sri Krishna, primarily the message of Bhagavad Gita. And when one is well established in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, he can take up the study of Srimad Bhagavatam for further enlightenment in self-realization. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tarati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaganaranatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahagana Lalital Shri Vishakhamritamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dheena Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatkatanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavana Ishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalparubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravatta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are gathered here on a Sunday. Very happy to be among you. So beginning from Srimad Bhagavatam's first canto, this first and second canto is considered to be like the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prabhupada has spent a lot of time in especially writing the commentaries for the first canto or the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, many of Prabhupada disciples have a strong feel that almost most of it, what Prabhupada actually wanted to say to all the devotees of this society, Prabhupada had actually conveyed that in the purports of Bhagavatam first canto and second canto. Next. The primary reason behind that is Prabhupada was not sure how long he is going to live, how long he will get an opportunity to serve all the devotees who were under him, taking his help and establishing the society. He was getting old, and for that reason, most of the content that Prabhupada actually wanted to communicate with his members of the society, Prabhupada had actually put that in the purports of the first and second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's very, very essential that devotees spend time in the first and second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So here we could actually see the particular verse where the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Sutta Goswami, they were in front of Shaunak Rishi and asking so many questions. Especially there are 6 questions, if I am right, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and they were trying to actually, they were not hurrying up, because in this verse we can actually see they were not interested for any crash course, right? We all like crash courses. You don't have time. You have very much lack of time. So they were not in a hurry like all of us. People like, they were in fact wanting to talk about people of Kali who will not have time. Right? So Prabhupada also says that in the purport, saying how the duration of Kali Yuga people's maximum is 100 years of lifetime. Right? So we can see that how much short time that we actually have. And in that time, we actually wanted to accomplish a lot of things in our life. So many things, especially which are allured, which are pushed to us as necessity. Like we have a lot of advertisements going on saying 2 BHK, 3 BHK, buy this, buy that, buy this car, buy this flat, buy this, buy that. So many things are being advertised, right? It's advertised and it is pushed in our minds, making to feel us as if like without that, what is life, right? That kind of feel they actually try to present. All that is there only to actually cheat the money from us. Somebody wants to earn money and they actually cheat from us. That's the only thing that people are doing. So Bhagavatam actually time and again reminds us that we need to wake up. We need to wake up and see the reality that is actually going around us. The reality is that we have a very short time, and that short time is being stolen away from our hands. Kali is cheating us, Maya is cheating us, or Maya is in fact testing us. Maya is not cheating us, Maya is testing us to see how much serious are we in whatever we are asking for. If we are really serious, then we will be focused only on what we want. If we are not very serious, then we will keep diverting ourselves in so many things. We keep running this side, that side, that side, this side, and end up going nowhere. And our acharyas very clearly say that lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, our time is getting wasted in this way. Chewing the same old chewed thing. Right? Same old thing we have been again trying, attempting, trying, again attempting, and wasting our time. That's what Bhagavatam tells us. Right? Repeatedly we are wasting time. So our acharyas come and remind us, say that, why have you wasted your last life and now you have come to another body? You have entered into another mother's womb, you have taken your birth and you have suffered here enough. Now at least wake up and then take to this. Open the eyes and see the reality. The reality is that we are all actually marching towards death. That's the reality. And nobody can actually save us. No doctors can save us, no medicine can save us, No hospital can save us. Nobody can actually save us from dying. Nor our family members, nor our parents, nor our children, nor our job, nor the money that we have. Nothing can actually save us. That's the fact. The sooner we understand it, the sooner we realize saying that we are kind of wasting our time here. It is all end of the day useless. End of the day, it is actually useless. It is not going to help us. That we can be satisfied mentally thinking that all this money and all the friends and all the accumulations that I have will actually come and save me. But it is not going to save us for sure. So knowing all these things, the sages here, they have assumed that they were not interested in anything else. I don't want anything else. I only want to hear about Krishna. With that interest, they have actually come here. And at Naimisharanya, they started this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam for a long period of 1000 years without any break, right? And they are saying that you don't cut it short. Oftentimes, we actually see that Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, when they were actually discussing, Parikshit Maharaj will actually say to Sukadeva Goswami, don't think that I have less time. Right? He was actually in the death notice of 7 days, but he stops Sukadeva Goswami and he says, saying that don't think I have less time. I have enough time. Don't cut short things. I want to hear more. Right? They were not bothered about, okay, or in fact, he was not thinking about this future. Most of the time, we actually keep dwelling about future, saying what will happen next. Now I have come to this IBC center here, 12:30, 1 o'clock program will get over. After going that, I have to do this, do that, all those things. We keep started planning always. What to do, what to do, what to do. We keep thinking about it and we waste present. Right? We waste the time that we have got with devotees now. Most of the time, our time gets stolen like this. We think about afternoon now, and in the afternoon we think about evening, and the evening we think about next day. We forget that I have this time now which I can use it. Right? Even most of our chanting in the morning time also goes like this. Right? It goes off thinking about the day. What will I do for this time? What will I, if this person comes to me, what will I say to him? All that. It actually goes off thinking about the future. And future we don't have control at all. We make so many plans to make things happen it like this, but at the end of the day, it happens in something different way. We don't have control over it. But we keep making plans. We think that my plan, with this plan, I will be able to succeed and I will be able to go like this. But I'm sorry to say, only Krishna's plan works always. All our plan might work if it coincides with Krishna's plan. And we think saying that because I have planned it nicely, it has worked like this. That's the beauty of it. We often actually think saying that I have succeeded in my plans. Like the whole industry now today, it actually goes around with presenting success stories, right? They come and present reviews, success stories, and we go and believe the reviews in Google, all those things. That's what we believe in, right? It is just a matter of coincidence. That's all. Coincidentally, Krishna's plan and their plan actually came in well, and that's how they became little successful. And as soon as a person becomes successful in his life a little bit, he starts going and presenting himself as if like, I have so much success stories with me and I can go and educate others. That's what they think. So many educators, so many, I'm not criticizing them, but they should also understand saying that there is Krishna's plan behind. And fortunately, things are happening. Krishna is also favoring us. Just in a moment, if Krishna doesn't favor somebody, the same plans which were executing for a person for 7 years, several times, all will go in vain. That can happen in 1 second. We may be an expert in doing certain things, but the same expert will not carry forward for us, will not help us when Krishna is not with us. When Krishna is with us, everything falls in place. When Krishna is not with us, nothing falls in place. This own body, now we are sitting and then we are seeing and we are hearing, right? It will not, if Krishna doesn't support, this body will not cooperate. It will not cooperate. The eyes which is here, which I can see you all, will not be able to see. The ears will not be able to hear. The mouth will not be able to talk. The hand will not be able to move. There are a lot of demigods present inside this body, and all the demigods actually work in cooperation, in harmony with the Lord's plan. And when everything actually falls in place, then the body starts cooperating with our wishes. Otherwise, even if we wish, even the body itself will not cooperate. We don't have control even over this body itself. Our body doesn't work in a way that we want. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? We eat something, we get stomach problem. We get back problem, knee problem, this problem, that problem, all kinds of problem the body actually brings in. It was never in our control. The body will never come under our control. Body was never under our control. It is just an imagination, and we think saying that because I take all these herbs, all these Ayurvedic medicines today, things are actually working fine. My body is actually cooperating with me. It's all nice. Just that it's because Krishna's plan is in hand with our hands. That's all. As long as Krishna's plan is with us, it will work. The same medicine will not work in another thing. It will not work. The same medicine, the same exercise, the same yogasana you are doing for your back pain, knee pain, all those things, it will not work after a certain time. If Krishna decides to withdraw his plans. That's all. Then whatever you may do, it will not work. So who is really succeeding here? Krishna or we? It's always Krishna will be successful. The sooner we realize that, we just need to cooperate with Krishna's plans. That's all. The quicker we actually understand the reality of life. Saying that I was never in control of situation in this whole world. I am never in control of this body. I am never in control of my own mind. I am never in control of my family members. Nobody is in my control, but I think I am in control. How many of you here are managers in your company, office? Almost everybody, right? Yeah. And manager typically thinks things are running because of my control, right? That's the nature of conditioned soul. The conditioned soul's nature is to actually lord it over, to obtain control, over somebody. And if they do what I tell them to do, then we become happy. If they do something which is against what I wish to do, immediately we show our face. That's what is actually happening all around. Everywhere, that's what is actually happening. And we all wanted to take control. And Krishna says that it is not something new. So 5,000 years back, Krishna has actually recorded. Apareya mitasvayanyam prakritim vidhi me param jivaputam mahabaho yayetam darayate jagat. Krishna says that the living entities will always be trying to lord it over the nature. That's what their job is. They wanted to actually take control. And the tendency to lord it over and take control is what is actually keeping us in this material world. The more we actually wanted to take control and more we wanted to dominate and show our superiority, show that we are lords here, I am in control of situation, I can control some people. The more we actually think like that, the more Maya will actually give us trouble. That's how the nature is designed for. It is designed to actually trouble us so that we come to an understanding saying, I am not in control, Krishna is the only person who is in control. Until we come to that conclusion, we will get troubles from Maya. Because she is there to actually educate us on that part. She is there to actually trying to help us realize, saying that we are not in control, Krishna is in control. Not just here, everywhere, Krishna is the supreme controller. So this whole Bhagavatam is actually trying to teach us. It's trying to teach us to wake up, open your eyes and actually see. Right? We don't have a control of the climate which is outside. Nothing is in our control actually, so to speak. But just that people actually boost and say that I can control. Police thinks that I can actually control the traffic signals, junction, I can relieve the traffic there. But actually, so to say, okay, I'm not hurting anybody, but so to say, my observation is When some police car comes in a junction, generally traffic starts. As long as no cop comes in the junction, people come, somehow they come and go away. Nobody stands there. But cop comes there, he actually stops some person, lets somebody pass, then whole traffic piles up in Bangalore. That's what actually happens, really. As soon as we put our head inside and try to alter something, things gets actually worsened. But we think saying that by putting my hands, things gets actually streamlined. That's what we think always. Okay, again, I'm not saying that that's how it is always. I'm not saying that don't do anything, let it as per Krishna's will. I'm not saying all that things, right? But Krishna himself did not say that, so to say. That Krishna did not say to Arjuna saying that you please sit down, I will take care of everything. Krishna did not say that to Arjuna, right? Krishna wanted Arjuna to actually fight there. And the whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken for Arjuna to go and fight, not for him to renounce. Right? Arjuna wanted to renounce and run away. That's what generally people want. They want to get freed themselves. Today, husband and wife fight, immediately divorce, so that each of them can actually become free. But the whole Grahastha ashram is designed so that they stay together, they fight together, they come to a realization saying that, oh, this life is horrible. They want to come to that realization. Right? The whole time they have to actually make us realize saying this life is horrible. Material life is horrible. That's what we have to conclude. Right? That's why Krishna actually brings two people together. He brings two people together, make them go really good because unsettled. Right? People call it a settle down. That's when they get completely unsettled. And that's when they actually take shelter of Krishna consciousness also. Right? They see it is no other hope for them. For them, Krishna consciousness seems to be the only hope where both husband and wife will agree and stay together there. Right? No, but nowhere else they stay together. Even same thing happens with my family also. If I am like this, my wife is actually like this. We both of them come together only for Krishna consciousness. That's all. I hope same thing happens in many families also. All of you are acknowledging it by laughing. Right? So to say, honestly, many husband and wife are staying together simply because of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, with this current law that supports for divorce, earlier that law was not there. There was no concept of divorce in Vedic culture. However the husband is, however the wife is, they actually stay together and they go forward, adjust each other, tolerate each other. That's what our culture was. But now, zero tolerance. Neither the Prabhus tolerate nor the Matajis tolerate. Nobody tolerates each other. And children also don't tolerate. Right? Nobody tolerates each other. Everybody wants to be independent. Everybody wants to be separated. They want to enjoy what they have to enjoy. They want to have control of what they want to control. Separate. That's what. Thoughts are separate. Deeds are separate. Activities are separate. Everything is separate. And they think I am happy now. Right? And nobody can be happy here. It is designed to be unhappy, unfortunately. The quicker we finish our karma by suffering, in fact, tapasya actually means to voluntarily accept suffering. That's what Prabhupada says. So, grihastha ashrama is actually a suffering for both of them. For children, for parents, for everybody, it's a suffering. And that suffering we voluntarily take. A brahmachari undergoes a different kinds of suffering. It's a suffering for them also. They have to control their mind. So it's a suffering for them also. Right? So in any case, anybody who lives here, they only undergo suffering. But externally, when we see, it actually looks different. Just like they say, right? It's always the other side is green. When we look at somebody, wow, what kind of couple they are. They are really so happy. Look at their smile, look at their life. They are really having a blissful life. Right? When you go to their home, immediately then we will see the reality there. There only we see the real reality there. Right? Outside everything looks nice. That's why Kali Yuga is said to be like a package industry. Packaging is given more importance than the substance which is there inside. Right? nice golden color wrapper gift box they actually go and give in the during marriage and occasions, the object there will not be so useful for that person. Right? The same way it's like that. So Kali Yuga means like that. So don't get enamored so much by the presentations of this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga things will be presented as if it is so valuable, so worthy to actually have it, so nice. That's how it will be presented to us. And Kali Yuga people are less intelligent people, and immediately their mind, when they get attracted to that, immediately they will actually feel that they want it. And as soon as they go for it, there will always be a hook behind everything. There's nothing actually. If people say, I'm giving you something free, there is definitely a hook behind it. Nobody gives nothing for free, right? Except for Krishna consciousness. Forget about Krishna consciousness. I'm talking about material things. Nobody gives anything for free here in this material world. Everybody has a plan for it behind that. So we need to be little careful how we deal with this material world always. The minimum we interact with the material world, the better it is for us for spiritual life. The more we interact with material world, the more we will not have time for spiritual life. That's the formula Rupa Goswami gives. Right? It's what's an Atyahara Prayasascha Rajalpa Niyamagraha. Ati Ahara. Eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than necessary. Anything you collect more, you take more, you will only be in problem. Prayasa. Endeavoring more than what is necessary. What is necessary to keep the body and soul together, that much we can actually have. But if you endeavor more and try to actually spend a lot of time having some plans to achieve some things, then our time will get killed here. Right? Simply our time will get lost and we will not have any time for doing our spiritual activity. We will not have time. Our time will get killed like this. Already 30, 40 years are gone in most of our life. Yes or no? Yes. And it went like this. Went like this. And another 5 years, 20 years will pass like this if we are alive also. With the kind of traffic that we are seeing, there is no guarantee of we going and reaching back home also. That's how it is, kind of. This very, very pathetic situation that we are living in. Horrible situation to actually live inside city. That's why our acharyas say if you are living inside city means you should live only for the purpose of preaching here. Because people actually come and congregate here. And this is a great opportunity to preach Krishna consciousness. So if you want to preach, stay inside city. That's the formula Bhakti Siddhanta Srishti Thakur actually gave. You want to live in city, then you should actually preach. So that you will be nicely engaged here in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, better go in somewhere else in a village or something and practice your Krishna consciousness nicely. So, it's not going to be an easy journey for all of us. It is going to be a very tough journey. Everybody's life. Don't think that other person is happy and I am only having the suffering. Everybody is suffering here. There is nobody exempt from suffering here. His world is designed to suffer. Everybody is only suffering. Just that people may have a big smile. They may put nice makeup, they may put nice dress, and then they will come. They will show as if they are enjoying, but inside everybody is crippled. They are very unhappy with things that are happening here. Because this is not a place where we can live here. It is not designed for it. The only solution for all this problem is to actually come and hear about Krishna. That's all. There is no other solution for here. So that's why here the sages are setting an example saying that I have all the time to actually come and hear about glories of the Lord. Don't think that I don't have time. I have all the time. Don't cut it short for me. Don't cut it short. very interesting part is like, reading this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have this Brahma Vimoha Leela, right? Because that's the last chapter that Prabhupada actually translated. It's a very beautiful chapter. So that whole Brahma Vimoha Leela, Sukadev Goswami skipped and went forward. He didn't even talk about it. Parikshit Maharaj kind of stopped, made him speak about it, and then he actually went forward. Right? So that was the kind of mood Parikshit Maharaj actually had. He had the eagerness to hear, not because he had less time, not because he had the death notice in front of him, not because of that. From his birth, he was actually very eager about the Lord. That's why he is named Parikshit, one who actually examines any Lord who came in front of me when I was in my mother's womb. That's why he is Parikshit, one who does Pariksha, test. Is that the person? Is that the person? He was so curious to actually know about the Lord from his birth. And he didn't want to miss the opportunity of taking association of devotees, hearing about the Lord when he was about to die. He was least bothered about his property, this, that, and all those things. He just gave it to his son Janamejaya and then went forward. That's all. Just like that. So we should also get ready. We see a lot of stories about Bhagavatam is full of what do you call that kind of a success stories, right? We talked about success stories, right? In the business people do that, right? Anybody doing business here? Nobody. All are IT donkeys, huh? All of them are IT donkeys here. All of them working in IT companies. Yeah, right? How many of you are software, hardware, middleware, firmware, whatever? Okay, it seems to be like that, right? So, what was I saying? Success stories, yeah. So Bhagavatam is all about actually success stories. We hear the story of Ambarish Maharaj, we hear the story of Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Gajendra, who are all of them. Why? Why all success stories are actually being told here? Krishna is also doing business here. He is also doing business here. He is coming and campaigning, saying that come to my place, come to my place. Right? Just like politicians have started campaigning, right? Congress, BJP, they all started their underground work now. How can I pull the other person and I can come up? Right? That's the plan they have. Right? They come and do campaigning, they come and actually give false promises, and we get cheated. Every 5 years we go with the belief saying that this person might do something for us. Right? And that hope keeps going on until we die. Until we die, the hope keeps going on that something will happen. Something might happen, kind of like that. Right? So just that Prabhupada used to say like that, just that this is like a fight between two thieves. One thief might be a little better than the other thief, that's all. Relatively, if you actually see, one person is a little better than that, that's all. That's how things go on here. Right? So Krishna actually comes, he does all this pastimes, he does all this campaigning, his devotees come and glorify the Lord. All these things will actually is to inspire a little bit of interest in our heart. A little bit of interest towards him. He is coming and campaigning saying that, please come to my place. There you will not have to go to school, you don't have to go to college, you don't have to go to work, you don't have to work in the kitchen for making your food, right? And then after eating your food also, then your stomach will have problem, you will have to fast nature's call, then after 3 hours again you will get hungry, then you will get thirsty, you have a tough body to deal with here. It's a very, very demanding body. Always keeps demanding and always keeps us busy. But there Krishna actually comes with a proposal saying you can live without a material body, which will never actually trouble you. Is that not nice proposal? Yes. You have super trouble to be within this body. Like give an option, everybody wants to get out of this body and go away. That much trouble it is giving us. But still the mind is so cunning, saying that it actually makes us, convinces us saying that you pamper this body nicely, it will be taken care, it will be all right, it will be all right. That's how it actually cheats us. It is so cunning, this mind. That's why Bhagavad Gita very clearly says the mind is like an enemy sitting within us. And it is such an enemy, say, as if like you will go and point out saying he is your enemy. Not me. This is not the enemy, he is your enemy. See, look at what kind of things he is actually doing to me. And it will convince thinking that that person is your enemy. Right? Somebody who comes and points a mistakes to us, it's an opportunity for us to correct our mistake. But what we think, that person is my enemy, he has pointed out my mistake. That's what we think. Right? It's a difficult time that we are living with in this body. It's a very tough time. We are being conditioned so much and we don't understand, we don't accept that we are conditioned here. The moment something gets presented in front of us, immediately we get angry, we react to it. Yes or no? At home, if something actually happens, immediately we get angry. Right? We have no control over this mind, no control over this body. It's giving us really tough time. And we are not ready to accept this problem. The real problem is our own self. This body, this mind is our real problem. We are not willing to deal with that. And spiritual life is all about dealing our own problem. That's what spiritual life is all about. All other education is to actually solve the problem of the whole world. Right? They teach us how to solve them of everybody's problem, they teach us how to solve. But our own problem, they never actually teach us. They don't even educate us who we are. You come and go and ask this question about who we are, all the teachers and staff will put you down. They will not entertain you. That's the kind of world we are dealing with. Socrates, he was poisoned for speaking truth. The truth that he spoke was that I am not this body. That's one truth he spoke, and for that he was poisoned. If you're not this body, let's see, we will feed you poison. Let's see what happens to you. And when they were about to feed him poison, they actually asked him, okay, what kind of grave you want now? Right? They asked him what kind of grave you want. And he said, catch me if you can. He was talking on the platform of a spirit soul. And he was quite sure saying that this person cannot even see me, cannot even catch me. How can they actually will make a grave for me? They cannot make. I will be gone. If I just get out of this body, I will be gone somewhere else. They cannot even catch me. So that was the level of people who were in India also. We call this Bera Bharat Mahan, right? So it's Mahan. Why we call it Mahan? Because people were really cultured, people were really educated here. Prabhupada actually writes in one of the purport in Bhagavatam, this first canto only, Prabhupada actually writes, saying that education and bad character go ill together. Education and bad character go ill together. They don't go together. But in Kali Yuga, they both merge together and go well. In Kali Yuga, that's how it is. People may be called highly educated, but they have a very low character. In fact, Chanakya Pandit actually talks about saying that what is the use of all this education if you are not having a good character? You're not really educated person. That's how he calls it. Matrivat paradareshu paradraviyeshu lostravat atmava sarva bhuteshu sa ya pashyati sa pandita. It says Matrivat paradareshu, one who actually sees everybody else apart from his one's own wife as mother and treats them, honors them as mother. Paradraviyeshu lostravat, one who sees others' property as garbage in the street. Will anybody collect a garbage, put it in their packet, take it home? That is there in the street? Right? What about if a gold necklace has fallen down in the street? That's the key. That's the test of Chanakya Pandit Suzuki. He said, like, treat others' property as good as garbage. It's not mine. Why should I actually bother about it? That's the whole thing Krishna actually speaks about in Isopnishat. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Everybody is given with certain quota in their life. You can enjoy certain quota, you will get suffering of certain quota. You will not get more enjoyment also, you will not get less enjoyment also. If you are content to live within that quota, you will have a happy life. The moment you want to expand your quota, more problems will actually come. If you live and be satisfied with what Krishna gives to you, your life will be peaceful and you can actually focus on your Krishna consciousness. The more you become unsatisfied, you're not content with your mind, more problems will actually come. The more you keep asking for, I want this, I want this, I want this, more problem will also come. The more you actually attempt to give it what you have, please take it, please take it, please take it, the more Krishna will actually come in our heart. By giving, we become more richer. That's Vedic culture. Kali Yuga culture is by taking, I become richer. Right? That's why we want to take from everybody. We wanted to actually engage everybody in my service. That's Kali Yuga mentality, basically. So this to actually help us, to educate us, to treat us, to show reality to us, saying that Krishna is our only hope. There is nobody else who can actually help us. Krishna is the only person who can actually help us. Nobody else. That's the reality. The sooner we accept, the good it is for us. Nothing else can actually come and save us, in fact. So, these sages of Naimisharanya, they were actually understood that this is the only place where I can actually take shelter of, and they wanted to hear more of Krishna Katha, and they said as if like we are not satisfied. How much ever you tell us, still we will not be satisfied. We want more. We want more. That's the place where we need to hanker for more and more and more. We should not be hankering for material things. If Krishna gives, let me take it. If Krishna doesn't give, I'm fine. If we are content with what we get in material life, we will have lesser problems. But spiritual life is opposite. We should ask for more and more and more and more. The more we ask for, then more Krishna actually comes in our heart. Because Krishna will very happily give if you ask for something material. That's very easy for him. He will give it to us. But if we ask for more and more devotional service of it, then it is like he has to come and give more time to us. He has to come give attention to us. He has to come be with us always. He has to give his time then. Right? Just like if you want to give your time to somebody, time is actually very valuable. You will actually give your time to somebody who is really needing it. Yes or no? Only who is in the need of it, you give the time to them. Even a child. Prabhupada says that if a child actually cries mildly, the mother knows that okay, it's not something very important. I can keep doing my work. But if a child immediately cries very severely, the mother immediately will leave everything and then come. Krishna will also be forced to do the same thing. Gajendra, for him, something like that happened. He pulled the Lord to come here. So much so that our Acharyas say that the Lord, he is like his Angavastra, everything fell down. His Krita, Mukut, everything fell down. He came running. He came running so much so that even Garuda was not fast enough for him. He took Garuda, put on his back, and he came first. That was what the urgency that Gajendra created. That he came so swiftly, he has to come and then attend to Gajendra. So devotees are like that. Like when somebody becomes a devotee of the Lord becomes purchased for them. He becomes purchased. And the Lord has to come and attend to the devotee. Not out of compulsion, but out of love. Out of love, the Lord becomes compelled to come and attend to devotees' problems in their life. Because they don't have anybody else apart from the Lord to go for. They will not go for anybody else apart from Krishna. And anything else they know they only call Krishna. Just like Kunti Maharani prays, right? Give me more problems so that you will always be with me. Right? So they were not devotees of the Lord. They don't bother so much about problems. Whether I go to hell or whether I go to heaven, it doesn't matter. I only want to always think about you. That's the problem of devotees. Devotees, their real punishment is when they are not getting association of devotees, they are not able to hear Krishna Katha, they are not getting active services. That actually is a big punishment for a devotee. It's a big punishment. Right? They cannot actually live without thoughts of the Lord. Something difficult for them to actually go. Right? But material people, they actually want to forget Lord and enjoy here. They want to forget the Lord. So our business is completely different. We are living here in a material world and we are trying to remember Krishna, which is actually difficult. It's not easy. Just like devotees say, doing material things in material world is easy. Doing spiritual things in spiritual world is easy. Doing material things in spiritual world, out of question. That's not there. As soon as you want to do material things, you're actually in material world. And doing spiritual things in material world, it's not going to be easy. Because nothing will be cooperating us. Our body will not cooperate, our mind will not cooperate, our family members will not cooperate, relatives will not cooperate, job will not cooperate, nothing will cooperate us. In spite of all this non-cooperation, we still have to actually do Krishna consciousness. Right? It's not easy. It's not easy for anybody to actually practice Krishna consciousness here in this material world, especially in Kali Yuga where things are very, very unfavorable.
Krishna consciousness is the only source.
That's the only hope for us. Right? It's not going to be easy. Anybody who practices Krishna consciousness, they are glorious people. They are really glorious. That's why it says in the Bhagavad Gita, saying that out of Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kashit, thousands among men, one may actually endeavor for perfection. There are thousands among men, kind of. So people who are practicing Krishna consciousness, they need to be honored. They need to be respected. Doesn't matter that they are chanting 16 rounds or 1 round or 2 rounds, whatever rounds they are actually chanting, whatever capacity they are doing, they are all actually are glorious people. They need to be respected. They need to be honored. It's very important that we create such a society of everybody respecting each other because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted such kind of a society. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's main preaching is coming in Sikshashtakam, and we speak great about the third verse of Sikshashtakam, right? Tanadapi suni chena, tarorapai sahisuna, amanina manadina kirtaniya sadahari. Like Chaitanya Charitamrita very clearly says that we have to decorate our body with this verse. This is an ornament for a devotee. Abhushana. For a devotee, the Abhushana is his qualities, not by his appearances. Appearances doesn't make us devotee. Right? We may put a tilaka, we may put a kantimala, we may put a Vaishnava dress. That doesn't make us a devotee. A devotee means they should actually show in quality, show in behavior, show in character. The whole Bhagavad Gita is to tell about what kind of devotee is very dear to Krishna. And if you read that, there Krishna doesn't saying that you have to put a nice white kurta or nice sari, you have to put it and then you have to put nice tilaka. Krishna doesn't talk about that at all. Unfortunately. Right? He doesn't talk about that at all. That's not a consideration. External appearance is not consideration at all. I'm not saying that don't come in whatever dress you like to wear. There is a appearance also makes an effect of it. Just like you put tilaka on your forehead and then come, it gets reminded about the Lord to others. At least they get, oh, this person is a devotee. Something flashes in somebody's mind about the Supreme Lord. you put tilaka and go, you put kanti mala and go, you come in a Vaishnava dress, it reminds them something about the Lord, which is good. But at the same time, our character should also be gelling with that. Not that our character is tangent to our appearance. Right? That is not, that kind of devotee is not really accepted by the Lord. They are almost like duplicitous. They show something and then they are something else. And Krishna hates such kind of people. Like kind of Shakuni kind of people. Their words are very sweet and very nice, but their intentions are very poisonous. That's like Shakuni kind of character. Right? Krishna is not that kind of person. That's why he didn't go to Duryodhana's house. He went to Vidura's house. And Vidura was very simple. Vidura's wife gave him peel instead of bananas. And Krishna happily was eating it. So we can see what is Krishna's expectation. Krishna is like, he's called as Bhavagrahi Janardana, one who actually sees the intention behind the activity, not the activity really. He sees the intention. He accepts the component of love in your boga, not the boga as it is. Right? We may keep the boga, but he accepts the love in that boga. Tadaham bhakti upahritam, he says. I accept the bhakti that with which you are offering, not the decorative items that we are offering. Even if you give patra, pushpa, phala, toya, that is good enough, but with love you should actually offer, Krishna says. Not that we expect, give me pizza, pasta, burger, sandwich, pizza, all those things. That we may think it is great, but if component of devotion is not in that, it is all useless. It's next to useless almost. Right? So it's so important that our consciousness in which we work, in which we take up Krishna consciousness, in which we do our devotional service. Right? Even the small devotional service that we are actually doing it, if we do it with little more consciousness, it has a great effect. Than scolding your leader, oh Krishna Karnamurti Prabhu gave me this service, what should I do now? Kartikeya Prabhu, I'll kill you if I get you. Not with that kind of mentality. That doesn't help us. I think you all know about the Akka Tangachi Kulam in Melgote, right? How many of you know about it? I'll keep the story short. Like something like two sisters. Okay, Tamil Akka and Tangachi means elder sister, younger sister. Kola is like a pond. So both this elder sister and younger sister were actually digging pond. And while digging the pond, the elder sister was actually cursing somebody and digging the pond. She was not in a good mood. And she dug the pond, she was digging the pond, and the younger sister was blissfully happy. And she was remembering the Lord when she was digging the pond. And so after they have dug the pond, the elder sister's pond was salty water. Nobody touches that water. And the younger sister, she was doing with proper consciousness, and water is sweet. And that water is used for the Lord's service. So now you see what the activity may be same. We may have accomplished the service that was given to us, but with what consciousness did we do it? Did it please the Lord or not? You might have fooled Kartikeya Prabhu or Srinidhi Prabhu or whomever. You can easily fool them. With your external appearance, you can actually fool them. You did the service, done, over. But in what consciousness you did it? Did the Lord get pleased or not? If my spiritual master was standing in front of me and seeing that my service, will he be happy with me or not? Ding! So it's something we need to ask ourselves. That's why spiritual life is all about consciousness. Prabhupada used the word Krishna consciousness. It is more about bhava, it is more about bhakti, more about love, more about inner things. And what is inside only will come outside also. Right? It will definitely come outside when we are squeezed. And Krishna consciousness will make sure we are squeezed. It will make sure Janmashtami is coming up now. Right? We'll all be squeezed nicely.
inside will all come out. What? It will all come out for sure. Right? One day or the other you cannot contain it. It will come out. Krishna will make sure he will comes out. That's how Krishna treats us. That's how Krishna cleanses us. Right? He has his own way of making sure things happen. And he will do it. He is the best manager, best doctor, best scientist, whatever you may call it. He is the best, and he knows how to purify us, and he is the only person who can purify us. That's why every day we are putting in Krishna in with us. We are chanting Krishna's name and putting Krishna inside us. We are reading Bhagavatam and putting Krishna inside us. The more we put Krishna inside us, all the garbage will come out one day. And it will come out one day for good. Anything happens, it's actually for good. It's for Krishna has his plans. Just that we have to cooperate with his plans now. So it is nice that we develop right mood, right attitude when we do devotional service. We see here the devotees here in Naimisharanya, they were so eager to hear about the Lord. So much eager. They were not showing any kind of, I don't have time. I do so many things. Not like that. They were very eager to hear about the Lord. And if we bring Krishna in, so many wonderful things actually happen. So many wonderful things actually happen. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, the 18th chapter, he says, Machitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarichyasi ata cheto mahankara nashosati vinamshati. Says Machitta sarva durgani. You always remember me, you will be able to cross over any kind of difficulties in your life. Machitta sarva durgani. All your Durga, all your problems, you will be able to cross over. Mat prasada tarishyasi. By my mercy, you will cross over all these things. Ata chetvam ahankara. But if you don't do that in that consciousness, and if you think that by my effort I am coming out with all these things, na stokshati vinangshati, you will get lost, Krishna says. You will be getting lost. And Krishna never forces anybody. He never forces anybody at the gunpoint saying that you have to do what I am saying. Even he didn't do that with Arjuna also. He said after saying a whole Bhagavad Gita, he actually said, you deliberate on it and you think whatever you think needs to be done, you do it. What's that verse? The line before that? The line before that? Vimrishasi? Vimrishasi means deliberate on it. Krishna says deliberate on it. Whatever I have told you, I have told you all the secrets. The line before he says talks about Guhyam. Guhyataramaya. And then he says Vimrishasi ete ichasi tata guru. He actually says like that. So he says, I have told you all the secrets. Now you deliberate on it and you do whatever you like to do. He has given that freedom. The same thing is given with all of us. Right? We come here to the ISKCON centers. We hear nice Srimad Bhagavatam class. We get instructions about Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We are enlightened to do what we need to do. Now, Bimbrishasi, do that. What you like, you do that. Ete ichasi tata, you. Right? That's the option that is given to us. Now, how we take it, how we apply it in our life, how Ambarish Maharaj dealt with things, how Parikshit Maharaj dealt with things, that all incidences will actually come to us also. We will also be put in the same kind of tests. Just like how Ambarish Maharaj, when the demon was coming in front of him, fearful demon was coming in front of him to kill him, Ambarish Maharaj folded his hands and prayed to the Lord, saying that if this is what my Lord let me to undergo, let me undergo it. He was ready to accept that it was not his fault. He didn't do anything else. He was about to break his fast, and then Durvasa Muni actually appeared there. He waited for Durvasa Muni to come back, but the time was Muhurta was getting over. Neither did he break the fast, nor he continued the fast. He took one drop of water. Right? He didn't try to offend anybody, but Durvasa Muni became angry, and then he felt saying that if this is what Lord wants from me, So it happened, and he folded his hand, accepted the Lord's plan. But then Sudarshana did not tolerate, right? So we will also get all kinds of situations like that. Right? We will get the situation. We will get the same kind of situation like that of Arjuna, what he had in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, about like how Parikshit Maharaj got, what Gajendra got. Right? In city life, you will get it very fast. Right? You will get it very fast, all these things. So one day or the other, we will all get the same situation. How we are going to deal with it? Parikshit Maharaj was able to deal with it because from the whole of his life, he was thinking about Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj, he was able to deal because he never forgot Krishna. They all actually led their life and showed the example saying that how they were able to cross their situation by remembering the Lord always in their life. Now that same situation will come to us. What will we do at that time? That's the test. That's the test. All our education will be put to test during difficult times. When difficult times, that's when we will be put into real test. How we deal with it during difficult times. Provoking situations. Prabhupada uses nice word. The character of a person will be known during his provoking situation or something like that. Prabhupada uses that nice word. The real nature of the person will actually come out at that time. So this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita learning is all about application. Unless we apply it in our life and show our dependence on the Lord, our surrender to the Lord, our dependence on the holy name of the Lord, our remembrance of the pastime of the Lord, remembrance of the Lord's instructions. These all are actually there, told to us. Pages and pages of purports are there, written by Prabhupada. Is all to actually put it under test during our testing times. At testing times, how we are going to use it. And that's left to us. If we use it wisely, then we will get support of the Lord also, and He will actually pull us. If we don't use it at all, if we simply live on the dependence of the Lord, oh Lord, I will not do anything, but still you need to take me to Goloka. Right? That's an unfair expectation. Where do you want to go? I want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. Right? Are you chanting your rounds properly? No, Prabhu. Do you read Prabhupada's books every day? No, Prabhu, I am not finding time. Right? We should deserve and then desire. That's very important. We should put our real effort in chanting the holy names of the Lord properly, in reading Prabhupada's books every day, in trying to preach Krishna consciousness, in trying to help others in their Krishna consciousness. We should actually become in one with the interest of the Lord. Right? The Lord's interest is to actually gather all the conditioned soul and take everybody home back to Godhead. That's Lord's interest. With that purpose, He came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With that purpose, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur to go meet every person and give them the holy name of the Lord. Whatever kind of background they may have, it is fine. If they take to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, they will be able to get delivered. That's the kind of promise Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and gave us. It's like super duper offer that nobody has ever given before. Even Krishna did not come and give that offer. Krishna said, you surrender, then He will take care of you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, even if you don't surrender, you just chant the Hare Krishna Mantra, you will be taken care. And Prabhupada comes and gives a furthermore promise saying that you chant 16 rounds of Maha Mantra, follow 4 regulative principles, I will take you back to Godhead. Prabhupada came and gave this promise. So how much we are inclined to following that minimum expectation from our Acharya? How much serious we are in pleasing Srila Prabhupada? Right? How much we are helping him? How much we are pleasing him? It all actually matters. So if we could give this life somehow in the service of Srila Prabhupada, giving something to this glorious movement, contributing something to this by your intellectual capability, trying to preach to somebody, make at least few people devotees, make them chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra,
make them be loyal to Srila Prabhupada, become a good servant of Srila Prabhupada. So if you could make few people in our life, that's actually a big success. Prabhupada will be very happy. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, if I could make one devotee in my life, I will consider my life living as success. He said, if there is one fragrant flower in the forest, then the whole forest becomes fragrant. Right? In the same way, like we should actually make some devotees in our life. We may not be a great person like Prabhupada and make a huge revolution in this whole world. We may not be like that, but at least a few people, 5 people, 10 people, 15 people, if you could actually touch their hearts, make them, help them in their Krishna consciousness, help them to chant, and they will have difficulties. You will go and offer some help to them so that they chant the Mahamantra nicely, they read Srila Prabhupada's books nicely. If we could offer some small help in this way, each of us take some small responsibility like that, things changes. And Prabhupada says in the purport, he says that's something Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expects. I'll read it again. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached the system of Bhagavad Dharma, and he recommended that all of them who are born in India should take up responsibility of broadcasting the message of Lord Krishna, primarily the message of Bhagavad Gita. He says should take up. All of us need to contribute in some way or the other. It doesn't need to be that we become panditas. We quote the verses of the scriptures. It is not necessary. We just have to somehow convince them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We just have to inspire them a little bit. If we are not able to convince them, take them to somebody who can convince them. That simple service that we need to do for Prabhupada's movement, that will actually please Srila Prabhupada. And our life is only to actually please Srila Prabhupada. Because if we can please the Acharya, then Krishna becomes pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. Right? Krishna becomes pleased when spiritual master becomes pleased, when the Acharya becomes pleased. And if Acharya is not getting pleased, where else do you have hope? Yasya aprasadat nagati. Where gati? Where is your gati then? Where is your shelter? There's no other shelter for you. Because Krishna will not accept, for sure. Our life is only to actually please the Acharya. And all that the Acharya is asking for is very simple thing. Chant 16 rounds of Mahamantra, follow the 4 regulative principles, try to help in this preaching movement. This movement is only to actually preach. It is to actually spread this teachings of Bhagavad Gita so that the whole world gets delivered. That's the whole plan. The plan is to actually deliver the whole world. And if we all contribute in a little way, that's actually good enough. And festivals like this, Janmashtami is actually just like Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. They are Bhakti Janani. That's the place Bhakti actually comes. Right? We all will actually remember the days when we were engaged very nicely in Krishna consciousness. That days we will not forget. We were blissfully engaged. Despite all difficulties, we were blissfully engaged that time. We will not forget those days. And Janmashtami is that kind of an opportunity. Though we may have hundreds of things we do, we sacrifice everything a little and then we contribute for the festival. Because it is Krishna's festival. And Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj very nicely says, Janmashtami is celebrated only in material world. There is no Janma in the spiritual world for Krishna there. He appears here only. He is always there in the spiritual world. He never appears there. His appearance is only in this material world. He comes here, performs pastimes, and then he goes away. This appearance day can be celebrated only here. Only in the material world you can celebrate Janmashtami really. There he is always there in the spiritual world. So these are all rare opportunities, you can say. And when we are engaged in blissful service in the Lord's service, these are all like little big boosters for us. And in spiritual world, it's like Nitya festival there, Nitya Utsava. Every day is a festival there. Every day is Janmashtami there, kind of. It's all, and we will not get tired. That's the beauty of it. Here, when you get engaged in services, next day you will become tired. Right?
But there it is not like that. There you will not get tired because you don't have a material body there. You'll be blissfully engaging in more and more and more and more and more service. That is a more conducive environment to do devotional service for the Lord. So that's why the Lord actually comes and campaigns here. You come back there. Why you are living here? He is campaigning and speaking about the glories of the spiritual world there. You go there, you go there. Allide nammane, illirodu summane. That's our real place, he says. The Acharyas say. That's the real house. Here it is like a rented place we are living in. Which is your native place? My native place is Goloka Vrindavan. Right? That's my real place, real home. I wish to go there to my home. I wish to go and meet my parents there. See how much eager we will be when we go to native, when we go meet our parents. Like same way, that's actually there. Krishna is our real father. To go meet him, to go be with him, like we should be blissfully engaging in that. With so much of enthusiasm, determination, we should actually be a part of the festivals. Because these are all our open doors for us to go back home, back to Godhead. Festivals are like great opportunities for us. Right? Okay. So I will kind of stop here. So this sloka kind of helps us to remind ourselves that we should actually spend our time, because it says very clearly here, by examples of these sages, one should learn that regular hearing and recitation of Bhagavatam is the only way for self-realization. So the only way for self-realization is to hear more and more about Krishna. The more we hear about Krishna, the more we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the more Krishna goes inside, the more thoughts of Krishna will come in our heart. And that's the only way to actually go back home, back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Shankaracharya Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. Any comments, questions? Yes.
So he had mentioned Prabhu regarding people having different mentality and being very sweet outside. All your points are really very true, and I have realized that also. But the one more thing which I understood for myself from my own life is like whatever we speak, if it is sweet, if it is nice, it has a greater effect within our consciousness also. Like it is almost like we fake it until we make it. So when we are being sweet, so what happens is even without our knowledge, our inner consciousness becomes smooth and peaceful to practice Krishna consciousness well. And in turn, it is again reflected outside. Truly, it is coming outside. The sweetness is truly coming outside, rather than being what is that, hypocrite, being having something in mind and being outside very sweet. So this is just like is my own realization, which I learned from so many years. So I just wanted to share with you.
Yes.
But your class was just like as usual, it was like a blockbuster. It just goes deep inside our heart and sits so strongly. It's very much required for all of us, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Prabhupada actually was, I remember one incident was, Prabhupada, one person, he was saying to Prabhupada, saying that everybody were offering obeisances when Prabhupada actually came. And this person actually said, saying that I don't feel like offering obeisances. But Prabhupada then said, you offer obeisances, then the feel will also come to you. So it's like that. So here, what we are doing now is almost like that. We are trying to practice. We may not be doing what you call service with all devotion, right? But when we do that service, devotion will also come. Right? Yes.
Then Prabhu, but all this will happen only if we put Krishna in the center. Krishna in the center in the sense like it is not just like what I'm doing is for Krishna. It's like whatever I'm suffering is Krishna's medicine, treatment to be. So I accept it. I should be tolerant. I should be peaceful, and I should be as pleasing and sweet to everyone as much as possible. So that that means if we are being trying to be pleasing to others, even in that kind of situation, slowly and that means that we have accepted Krishna's plan for us. We are accepting Krishna's treatment, we are cooperating with him. If we are squeezed and we are going to throw everything out, that means we have not accepted Krishna's shelter. And this happens only when we put Krishna in the center every moment and every minute within our consciousness. So whatever is good is coming, okay, Krishna is making me do, so I am doing. And whatever bad is coming, okay, this is for my purification. I have to tolerate it, and I'll try to be pleasing, and I'll try to practice Krishna consciousness peacefully. So this is somewhat which I have learned through my own personal experiences for my own self. So I just thought of sharing.
Thank you very much. Any other comments, question before we wind up? Oh, yes, bro.
So, being in manager in a corporate,
Damager. Damager. Go ahead.
maybe not here. So many.
I didn't say that. I just thrown it up and not to you.
So we go through many like people resign, and many stress in the office comes, workload increases too much. So being in a neophyte stage, we get consumed by that. So how we can stay stable in spite of those difficulties?
Specifically related to office? Okay. As long as we are in office, we may need to take a little bit of headache for that because we are paid for that. We decided to take that headache for some payment. I should actually present it like that. It's like I voluntarily accepted that headache so that I'll get some money, kind of like that. As long as we are in office, we take that headache. Once we step out of the office, we should actually understand saying I'm a devotee of Krishna. And we should actually completely forget about office till we go to the office the next day. Like most of the time, it's like from my childhood, I'm very absent-minded. So to say, really, I forget a lot of things. I consider it to be a boon of the Lord because today something happens, I get absorbed in that, and then the moment I step out of office, I completely forget about everything. Next day I come blank, and my manager will ask this: what is the status of it? I need to think what really happened. I really need to think for a moment. Oh, what really happened yesterday? Though I'm kind of a manager at office. Manager should be good with his memory, and they should actually remind of things proactively. But I am not a good manager, so to say. Neither I am a good manager in Krishna consciousness, but because nobody is there, they put me in that task. But I consider that to be a good boon for myself. So to say, to answer your question, it is if we need to actually consider our identity as a devotee first. Just that as long as we are in office, we may put a different mask and we may go there and we may execute some task in the office. But end of the day, when we come out, we should go blank and think saying I'm a devotee of Krishna. And I should actually endeavor to become little more closer to the Lord than thinking about office things and dwelling the thoughts of that in the mind, in the home, back home, carrying the anger of or frustration or stress of the office back to home and showing our stress on the kids and family, all those things, those are all actually are little immature character, I would say, because they are not able to handle the shocks properly. Like a devotee means they should actually absorb shocks, shock absorbers, right? The more a person becomes a devotee of the Lord, the more he will expand himself to actually accept the shocks. That's how it is. Because that it is not that the devotee becomes extra powerful, but the devotee is able to do that by Krishna's mercy. Simply. They are able to actually absorb that shocks. They are able to become little more tolerant, little more patient, little more what do you call it? They have confidence that Lord will come and save me. Kind of that confidence, that dependence on the Lord actually keeps increasing.
and the devotees are more shock observing kind of. So that's why we keep seeing that, oh, this devotee is doing some nice service. This devotee is actually able to accept some kind of shocks in the service. So we actually push them to next level, and then we see them how they react there. That's part of service. So that's how corporate world deals with us, right? In the corporate world, that's how they deal with things. They actually put the person. If a person shows some kind of enthusiasm, they give them some additional responsibility, and they say how they deal with it. If they are dealing it better, give them a little more responsibility, right? That's how they deal things materially. Spiritually, also we deal the same way. How much this devotee is able to absorb the shocks and still actually is able to give out things in good character and good patience with humility, all those things, how they are dealing with the services. Accordingly, they may give more and more and more and more and more and more service to the capacity the devotee can actually accept and do it, not to a capacity where the devotee breaks down. Right? So service, that's why is considered to be a reward. When you do some nice service, the reward is you get more service. And that's the bliss part of it. Because when we do service to the Lord, we become more and more attached to the Lord. The service will actually keep us in Krishna consciousness, especially for grahasthas. If we don't engage ourselves in Krishna's service nicely, then we have 100 things to actually spend our time. And we keep spending our time in those 100 things, we forget Krishna, in fact. So it is good to be engaged in the service of the Lord, and we should also not go to an extent where we break down. Right? We should always be somewhere in the borderline, kind of. Neither we should. Sometimes we should go cross, increase, and then get burnt and come out. At the same time, if you go down, it's a danger level, right? A little stretch zone, yeah, so to say. Right? Sometimes you should go up and then come, think, kind of. So, but that's a good state to be with for family people, where they have family responsibility also, they have kids, they have family, health issues, all these things actually comes in. We should be engaged. If we are not engaged, then it's actually a problem for us. We should be engaged. Did it help, bro?
Yes, but a little bit immaturity, because of that immaturity, still carries away all the things. What tips we can give them so that they don't carry what is there only absorption in Krishna with the solution?
Good thing is to actually hear more about the Lord. The more we hear, the more our mind gets absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord than of his thoughts, kind of. So Bhagavatam says very clearly that what we hear, that's what we think about. You keep associating with materialistic people, we hear a lot of materialistic thoughts, then that's what always brings us around in the mind. So the more we actually hear about Krishna, the more that thought actually comes to us. So that happens in the like-minded association. All those things actually favor that.
Home has become office nowadays.
That's a curse, Kali Yuga curse, Corona curse. What can we do?
So any tip, see, for example, if you go to office, you forget and come out. It does not. Being at home, doing both.
सफर उसके साथ सफर करना पड़ेगा कौन सा सफर मालूम नहीं no other option. That's a curse. In fact, Corona is a curse where I also keep noticing, saying like when we were working from home, we were spending more hours in office than home. Most of the time it is because like here and there we have to go attend to the family and then we come back and then the time actually extends kind of office. Thankfully, my office started in the second lockdown itself. So I go to office and then come back. I forget about it. That's all. But if it continues for you, it's a help for you.
Maybe it's a tip for everyone start going home.
Start going to office? I would say yes. That's actually good. We go and then we finish off being there, forget, and then come out. That's all. That's actually a good thing than working at home. Sometimes that is also needed. We just balance it out.
One last question. So, like yesterday in the preachers group that Ananda Vrindavani Mataji's realization was there, that no near-death experience or to chant attentively. So today I tried, in spite of the endeavor, like the mind wandered, and then you always used to, like in your previous class, you used to say, always check whether how much you improved from previous day. If you're not improving, then you're stagnant. So that inspiration will keep on taking, but still, something is required. Is there anything we can do so that we we need a tight slap so that now we start wake up and do more attentive chanting.
So even if you get a tight slap today, tomorrow you will forget. That's the nature, bro. That our mind is always tricking us. It is always cheating us. Just that we have to keep fighting. We should never give up fighting. The moment we give up fighting, then we have lost the battle. So we should keep fighting. We should keep endeavoring. Today, 100 times we may fail, still we should not hope, saying we should not lose the hope, saying next time I will try to pass. Keep fighting. That's the best one. And that's the struggle everybody has. That's why even Arjuna was asking this question, Chanchala, Mana Krishna, Pramati, Balavatridam. So I don't see any hope of fighting against this mind. That's how he was presenting it. But Krishna said, keep practicing. Abhyasa yogiktena. That's a struggle. Every sadhaka's life, it's a struggle to keep fighting, keep chanting, keep trying to improve. But moment we stop trying to improve, that's a problem. Right?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu, for the enlightening session. As you rightly pointed, so today if we listen about chastisement, tomorrow we'll forget everything again. We'll go to the same mode. So I think we need a regular chastisement. This meetings is required.
Karthikeya is not doing that. I thought he is doing that better than me.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this is really required for the spiritual progress on it. So I have a question, Prabhu. So it says like, be happy what Krishna is given. So don't hanker for other things. So also we are saying, so we can't stay at least a moment without doing anything. So how can we understand? So whatever things we are getting is allotted for us, which unless if you don't hanker or work on it, how can we think it is allotted for me or it is not allotted for us? So how can we differentiate that?
We can see it like this, bro. See, generally some things comes to us even without much of our endeavor. You put any, don't put any endeavor also, still some things actually comes to us. Just like Prahlad Maharaj also says, right? Just like we don't work for to get disease. It just naturally comes to us. Disease, unhappiness, when distress naturally comes to us, happiness will also comes to us naturally. So without putting a lot of endeavor, we may get some things, right? But we need, as you said, we cannot keep quiet. Nahi kaschit chanamapi jatu tishtati akarma kriti. We have to keep doing something. So and everybody endeavors for, just like as Narada Muni said to Yudhishthira Maharaj also, the goal of everybody's life is to actually reduce our problems and increase our happiness. That's the goal of everybody's life. Everybody is working towards it, everybody is endeavoring for it. So there's nothing wrong working for it. Right? We can put a little bit of endeavor, not too much of endeavor, as Rupa Goswami says. Right? That's ati prayasa. We don't put a lot of endeavor to gain material things. Right? We put some endeavor for it. And with some endeavor, if we get it, then we consider it that that's our quota, kind of. Right? But even after putting a lot of endeavor, lot of time, lot of energy, and if we don't get something, right? We can consider it as if like it is not our quota. But at some time, Krishna may also put some test. You want something, then you have to really work hard for it. So you may need to work really hard for it. But despite working hard, and you don't get it, we accept it saying this is what Krishna's plan is. Right? To some extent, that applies, but it may not apply to every case. Every case is different. Every person is different. Every case is different. Right? So we cannot make a general statement for anything. For specific questions, we may need to go and talk to the devotees or senior devotees and consult them, and then get their suggestions, kind of. The general principle is what comes to us with less effort, that we can consider it something like is within our quota, and we can accept whatever we need to accept in that quota also, and if we can go and share it with others, we share our happiness with others also. So it's like Vedic culture is all about giving to others than taking it. Like a grahastha means just like Prabhupada always says that no other ashrama people go out for work. Brahmacharis don't go out for work. Vanaprasthas don't go out for work. Sannyasis don't go out for work. Right? Only grahasthas work. And grahasthas have to ensure saying all other ashramas are also kept happy. Right? So we should also give. We should also invite brahmacharis, sannyasis, and vanaprasthas to our home, feed them nice prasadam, share, discuss something about Krishna consciousness with them. So that way, a grahastha actually becomes purified by inviting devotees home, by feeding them prasadam. Because in Bhagavatam also it is said, saying that when we feed prasadam to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, it is as good as feeding the Lord Himself. The Lord becomes satisfied when Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are fed. So we should actually invite devotees home. We should feed them nice prasadam. In fact, that's the purification of a grahastha. Grahastha means they go out and work. They bring sins, right? They bring sins. What we earn money is nothing but a sin. We are actually just like Bhagavatam says, "Jivo jivasya jivanam." One jiva lives at the cost of other jiva in the material world. The nature of material world is like that. We live at the cost of other person. Right? This building was constructed by somebody and we actually are occupying it and using it. Road was laid by somebody, we are actually using that. Right? Somebody has toiled their body and their life, and we are actually using that today. So we partake their karma with us. By using that, we partake their karma. Even the anna that we are eating, the food that we are eating, it is because somebody has toiled on the land to actually bring that cultivation out. So we are indebted to them. As soon as we take the food, we breathe the air, we take sunlight, we are actually committing sins there by taking it without giving anything. Right? So the grahastha, they have to do things. And the best way of doing things is to actually engage it in the service of Vaishnavas, in the service of Brahmanas, in the service of Krishna conscious society, by engaging it in the Lord's service. That way they actually get relieved from their sins. Right? So we kind of engage something like that, and if we get something excess, we actually spend it like this, rather than I got something more and let me enjoy more. We enjoy it to the extent what we get, or we suffer to the extent what we deserve, and then whatever is excess, we actually try to use it wisely. By doing that, we are kind of like balancing things. If we do anything more, it is actually we'll see the repercussions for it. You do, uh, I think you will get it mostly right. So everything, if when it is kept in limit, it is actually for the rest. Right? I think, should we stop in the interest of time or anything else? Last one. Yes.
Usually family things you are for them, right? So how do we
Marti, can you repeat? Usually family things.
husband thinks wife is only for him.
Okay.
Right? And children think mother is only for them.
Mhm.
So how do we help them that even we are for God also, right?
Okay. I think I got your question. I'm not very sure. Maybe you can help me. Sorry. I think I got your question, Marti.
So what she's telling is, Prabhu, like a woman in the house, she is for the not only for people out inside the house, but she is also for God. How we can make other people understand that
Right.
inside the house.
Right. Whether people inside the house understand it or not, we have to make progress in our Krishna consciousness for sure. Because our Krishna consciousness should not actually depend on them. If we keep having a hook saying that, okay, my Krishna consciousness depends on this person or this activity or this situation,
then we are kind of almost restricting us. Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada very clearly says, does not depend on external situations. Right? Okay. Not having a favorable situation at home may restrict us to come to Bhakti Center and doing some service. Right? It may restrict us to come here doing the service along with devotees. It may restrict us. But not having a favorable situation in the house should not influence our remembering of the Lord, dependence of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord. That it should not influence it because it is not dependent. Wherever we are, whatever situation we may be, whatever difficulty we may be in, whatever bodily capability we may in, anytime, any situation, we can always think about the Lord. Right? That's why devotees used to say that Krishna is just a thought away. The moment you think of Krishna, you can become Krishna conscious. So it will be good if things at home are very favorable, everybody at home cooperates with us for our Krishna service also. That's a fantastic situation, we get it. But we cannot keep waiting for that situation. If we keep waiting for such a situation, we may lose our lifetime. Because it may not happen also. It is up to Krishna's will. If Krishna wants, he can make a favorable situation. So to say, even Prahlad Maharaj did not have a favorable father. Right? He didn't have a favorable father. He was not supporting. In fact, he was trying to kill him. I don't know if we are in such kind of situation. I would say saying that our situation is far, far better than many of the characters that are there in Bhagavatam. Right? Parikshit Maharaj has to listen to Bhagavatam when Takshaka was waiting next door to kill him. That kind of situation he was. Arjuna had to kill his own grandfather, his own teacher, his own brothers. We don't have such kind of situation. Right? Our situation is far enough. But we may have difficulties. Difficulties will be there in every Grasta's life. Right? It is not that everybody has a peaceful life. Everybody has a very, very tough time. In fact, like I may be talking here, I may have inspired you, and you may think saying that, oh, I have a very nice situation. No. Even I have all the problems that you all are facing. There is nothing different. Right? It is everybody is actually undergoing a tough time in this material world. But we should not stop thinking about the Lord because we are having a tough time. In fact, Prabhupada actually says in the purport of introduction of Bhagavad Gita, he says saying that we should somehow try to actually remember the Lord while we are struggling in this material life. Right? We will not get a separate situation of freed from all my struggles and then I will be able to remember the Lord. That kind of situation, nobody will get it in this material world. Somehow while we are struggling in this material world, we have to remember the Lord also. That's the only way. So keep struggling, keep remembering. That's the formula Bhagavatam gives. As per our karma, we will undergo all the suffering. Let us undergo it. That's what Bhagavatam teaches us. If Krishna wants me to suffer, let me suffer. But you please make sure saying, I will always remember you. That's what great devotees pray for. I'll undergo all suffering, no problem. I'll patiently undergo suffering. Whether you put me to hell or whether you put me to heaven, let me undergo it. But please don't take me away from you. Please somehow actually let the thoughts of you always be in your mind. That prayer we should actually ask for. And we should always ask for devotees' prayers also. You can ask for other devotees to actually pray. And prayers are very powerful. If family situation is not so helpful, not so conducive, we can ask devotees to come and pray for us. And when devotees come and pray for us, it works, it really works. It is very helpful, in fact. Right? So we can pray for the Lord to actually give us a more favorable situation for His service. For the sake of service of the Lord, we can ask something also. I am not having a very favorable situation, not very conducive. Please give me more conducive situation. We can ask for all that. We don't have anybody else to ask for apart from the Lord. There's nothing wrong asking the Lord. Like I'm desiring to do more and more service for you. You please give me some favorable situation. Let my husband, let my wife, let my children, let my parents, in-laws, let them also understand, saying that I am also a spirit soul and I also love Krishna and I also need to serve Krishna. Let Lord give that favorable situation. Let Lord influence their mind also. We can pray for the Lord and we can ask other devotees to pray. Prayers do work. Right, Mataji? Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So the takeaway from Prabhuji's class, the first time I met Prabhuji in our SV Vrindavan apartment, the first question he asked me, I was the neophyte in Krishna consciousness, he asked me, how many of you are ready to take birth again and go through A for apple, B for ball? That touched me a lot. Then that decided, okay, this is the right path. Okay? So like that, Prabhuji, points at the point very amazingly, and it touches our heart. And the important point which I can take is, yes, Kali Yuga, we are all marching towards death. And when Prabhuji mentioned, I remember the purport from Prabhupada. Actually, death is killing us every day. The last stroke is death. We die. The death is trying to kill us every day. We are dying every day. The last stroke of slap is death. That's what Prabhupada has written. So Prabhuji reminded me very well. And Kali Yuga, all the things which we buy is like a golden wrap, nicely nice presents are put in a golden wrap big, but nothing is useful for us. So whatever activities we do in this material world is a golden wrap presents which doesn't have any value to us. So these two things are very touching point for us. And yes, Janmashtami is coming. Prabhuji inspired us the consciousness which we need to do the seva. Yes, even the spiritual world, it's Nitya festival, but Janmashtami is not celebrated there. We are getting such an opportunity. Please come up for the seva. Please reach to your mentors and tell them what can I do for you, rather than always asking what can I do for me. Okay, so please do the needful. So I have a few announcements. So yeah. So Yatra for Ahobilam, the registration will close in 2 days. Please register. You will not get such an opportunity to associate with all the devotees together. You are all relishing here. Same relishing will happen in the Katha. Like when we hear about the place, when we hear about the pastors of the Lord, then when we really see the Lord, then we will get the realization and revelation. Otherwise, when we go for a tour, this is called Yatra, it's not tour. When we go for a tour, we just do our eye exercise, eye wash and come back. We see a stone and then we praise and come back. Sorry to say, but it's like, we just get some small goosebump, but we'll come back. But when we go in a Yatra with association of devotees, we will see what really past time happened there and we will really appreciate what really happened there. So Yatras are very important. Please do register, just 2 days away. Already one bus is booked. So please, yes.
Through our ears.
Yeah, we can see the Dham through our ears. That's what all the Acharya says. Okay. So next Sunday onwards, to prepare our consciousness for Janmashtami, we'll be having Krishna Katha series. And starting with His Grace Kartikeya Prabhuji. Hari Hari Bol. Okay. And yeah. So one devotee had sponsored Prashadam today. Sri Surendra Kumar Tomar for his son's birthday, Hitat's birthday, and Jaya Mataji. Actually, they are a maid of Mohini Mataji. They hardly earn more than like 15K per month. Their salary is very, very menial, but regularly they contribute for the temple seva and temple contribution. That shows that doesn't matter how much you earn. What really matters is you should have heart. Okay. Yes. So let's all pray for them. One time, loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So another devotee, wonderful devotee called Mohan Prabhu is having dengue and he's been admitted into hospital. Recently, for his blood donation, also messages have come. So right now, Prabhuji had like 7 donors are there. So if any requirement comes, we'll post in the group, try to help him. Let's all chant him one time Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that Prabhu will recover quickly so that he can be back in Seva. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And also, just an update that is platelets are increasing without any blood donation.
Jai.
For blood donation, they came back. So with all the devotees' prayers, is platelets are increasing day by day. So it's all your prayers. So it's just Roji was telling, if some devotees prays for if somebody is really in a difficult times, definitely Krishna will help.
Okay, so yeah, so any newcomers, first time they have visited here? Any guests? Yes, please come forward. We have a small gift for you.
Get a signature.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not a great person.
So please give your number to our please come forward. Please give your number to bookstore so that we'll add it to your WhatsApp group so you get all the updates of Yatra and all the festivals. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll go for Aarti now. So wonderful Purushothaman. Already everyone is engaged nicely. I hope if you're not engaged, please ask your mentor. Please engage yourself. Otherwise, we'll be engaged in the service of Maya. So please engage yourself in the service of Krishna. Okay? We'll go for Aarti and then Krishna.